My fiancé's mother keeps calling me by his ex's name. I found out why, and now I don't think I can marry him. Oh, come on, it's just a habit, Jake said, rolling his eyes. I stared at him, trying to process what he had just said. Jake, your mom has been calling me Lauren since the day I met her. It's been 2 years. He sighed like I was being dramatic. Yeah, but you know how moms are. She's just used to her. Lauren was around for years. You can't expect her to just forget. I crossed my arms. I don't expect her to forget. I expect her to remember my name and not act like I'm some replacement. She doesn't think you're a replacement, Jake muttered. Then why does she still have pictures of you and Lauren in the living room? I shot back. That shut him up. I had been dating Jake for 2 years, and we'd been engaged for 4 months. His mom, Diane, had always been polite but distant. The problem? She still treated Lauren, Jake's ex of 7 years, like she was part of the family. At first, I thought it was harmless. Some people just have trouble letting go. But then it became weird. She still had framed photos of Jake and Lauren together. She still followed Lauren on social media, commenting on her posts like she was her daughter-in-law. And worst of all, she kept calling me Lauren. At first, she would correct herself. But lately, she wasn't even trying. The final straw came when we went to dinner at his parents' house last weekend. I was helping set the table when Diane sighed and said, Lauren, can you grab the salad dressing from the fridge? Jake and I locked eyes. He said nothing. I turned to Diane and forced a smile. It's actually Lily. Diane barely looked at me. Oh, of course, dear. Sorry, habit. It wasn't a habit. That night, I told Jake I was done pretending this was normal. Either he talked to her, or I would. He brushed me off. So, the next day, I decided to do some digging, and what I found changed everything. Update 1. I reached out to a mutual friend who knew both Jake and Lauren. I asked, as casually as I could, Hey, does Lauren still talk to Jake's family? Her response, Oh yeah, she has dinner with them all the time. I felt sick. Not only was Diane still treating Lauren like she was part of the family, Lauren was actively involved in their lives. I asked Jake about it that night. Yeah, she stops by sometimes, he admitted, not even looking up from his phone. So what? So what? I repeated. Jake, your ex is having dinner with your parents regularly, and your mom still acts like she's your girlfriend. How is that not weird to you? He groaned. Lily, this isn't a big deal. Lauren was close with my family. Just because we broke up doesn't mean she has to be banished. I felt like I was losing my mind. Jake, she's not just close with them. Your mom still calls me by her name. She still has pictures of you two up. It's like she wants you to be together. He laughed like I was being ridiculous. That's just how she is. She's sentimental. I shook my head. No, Jake. She's obsessed. And you're letting it happen. He finally put his phone down. What do you want me to do? Tell my mom she can't talk to someone she cares about. No, I said, my voice cold. I want you to tell her that I'm your fiancé, that I'm not some replacement, that she needs to respect our relationship. He stared at me for a long moment. Then he scoffed. You're being so insecure. That was the moment I realized something. This wasn't just his mom's issue. Jake didn't see the problem because deep down he liked it. And now I needed to know why. Update 2. I asked Diane out for coffee. If Jake wasn't going to tell me the truth, maybe she would. She seemed surprised but agreed. We met at a small cafe, and after some small talk, I got straight to the point. I wanted to ask you something, I said. Why do you still call me Lauren? She took a slow sip of her coffee, not looking the least bit guilty. Oh, it's just habit, dear. You remind me of her, that's all. I frowned. How? Diane gave me a small smile. Well, you look a little like her. Same hair color, same height, and you have similar mannerisms. A cold feeling crept up my spine. She kept stirring her coffee, her voice casual. Jake has a type, I suppose. I felt sick. You know, Diane continued, Jake and Lauren were perfect together. If things had worked out differently, I know they'd be married by now. But then she had to go and throw it all away. My heart was pounding. She dumped him. Diane scoffed. She got some big job in another state and decided that was more important than their relationship. Jake was devastated. I swallowed hard. Did he ever try to win her back? Diane's smile widened. Oh, honey, he never stopped. Update 3. I confronted Jake that night. I told him I knew Lauren had left him, that she had chosen her career over him, that he had spent years trying to get her back. He didn't deny it, but what he said next shattered everything. Lily, he said, rubbing his face, you and I both know Lauren was it for me. I felt like the air had been knocked out of me. He looked up at me, almost pleading. I love you, okay? But you and Lauren are similar. I guess I thought, maybe, this time it would work out. I took a step back. You guess? He exhaled. Lily, she was my first love. It's hard to just let that go. I felt my hands shaking. So what am I, then? A second chance? A stand-in? Jake didn't answer, and that silence told me everything I needed to know. Final update. I called off the engagement. Jake didn't even fight for it. He just said, I'm sorry, and let me walk away. A few weeks later, I found out Lauren got engaged to someone else. And Jake, he showed up at her engagement party. I think deep down, I always knew I wasn't the one for him. I was just the closest thing he could get.